Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I am excited about another opportunity to be with you here on this show. And today's show is a barn burner because we have one of the original members of Shark Tank on the show. He is a serial entrepreneur, someone who created an industry. We now know this industry as the infomercial industry. He's created and generated billions and billions of dollars. That's right. My special guest is Kevin Harrington. And I want to take a moment to also give a shout out to our sponsor who helps to make this show possible, Truist Bank. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist, TRUIST.com, Truist Bank. I am excited, and you know, I have only just a minute, as you have only just a minute, only 60 seconds, and it is forced upon us. We can't refuse it. We didn't seek it. We didn't choose it. But it's up to us to use it. We must suffer if we lose it. Give account if we abuse it. It's just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. So this minute, this moment of taking a moment to talk to you about success, about wealth building, about living your dreams, about achievement. This is my goal in life, to help more people to do more, be more, and achieve more, and help more people to rise above their circumstances and maximize their God-given ability. That said, I always start every show by thanking God, not just for the fact of this show being the number one self-help motivation show in America, not just the fact that we get now to share our message, my message, on stages and platforms around the world, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the books. I'm grateful for the expansion of radio to more markets in our daily radio program with the Motivational Minute. I'm grateful for all the things that are happening, the new music relationships we've developed. But it's all secondary until I first thank God for primary, which is life and strength and health. Thank God for friends and family, people and opportunities that I can enjoy because I've got life. If you got friends and family and faith, you can make it through the tough times. So when you've got that, you're blessed. And so I am grateful for that. Now, I want to take a moment to thank you who responded. I asked a couple weeks ago, I guess, to everybody who felt that they were getting something or had some ideas, or to email me one and let me know you're listening. And people did that. Now, you can still do that. Just send me an email at info@williejolly.com and say, I'm listening. I like this. But I also got some emails that said, I'm listening. I love your show, but I also want more of this or that. Particularly a lot of people who said, we want more of you and your wife. We love the relationship. So we're going to do that again as well. And you'll have some of that coming up soon. And many of you have gone on and gotten the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. We now have an audio live that you can purchase. Go to jollymarriage.com and purchase the audio live. It's an hour and a half, 2 CDs. It's dynamite. And I have to tell people, it's not for the ears of children, because we talk about sex and we talk about how men and women see sex differently. You know, the big 3 issues we talk about in the book are sex, money, and communication. So we're not pulling any strings about what women need sexually and what men need and how they see the same issue differently. So the audio is just incredible. It's funny, it's engaging, it's humorous, it's uplifting, and it's informational. So jollymarriage.com. If you don't have the book, get 2 copies of the book and get the new double K CD, Make Love, Make Money, Make Last live. Okay. Well, it's time to get into this interview today, and I hope you are ready for today's interview, because it is going to be one that will inspire, empower, uplift, and encourage you and help you have greater personal and professional success. How many are ready for a really good year? Okay, everybody who's listening, who's ready for a really good year, just kind of nod. I know you're driving, some of you, so you can't take your hands off the steering wheel. Now, how many are ready for a really good decade? Huh? That's right. For far too long, we have not had enough wealthy people to share wealth secrets. But today and every day, every week on this show, I'm trying to get the wealthy to share their secrets so we can get more generational wealth. And I'm learning too. I'm taking notes just like everybody else, because my family did not have generational wealth, but we're trying to create it for our children and our grandchildren and our great-great-great-great-grandchildren. As I tell people often, my biggest goal is that 100 years from now, some child will walk into a living room, see a picture of my wife and I, and run up to it and kiss it and say, thank you, great-great-great-great-granddaddy, what you did 100 years ago to allow us to have a business, to allow us to go to school, to allow us to have a home. And that's our goal. So that's something I will never see, but that's my goal. And the great ones will plant trees in their elder years that will take 30 or 40 years to grow. They'll plant the tree knowing they'll never sit under that tree, but they do it for the next generation. That's wealth in the generational mindset. Well, today we're going to help you grow that mindset. It's going to be exciting and it's going to be life-changing. So, folks, I am excited about my guest today. We met a couple years ago. I knew him because I'd seen him on Shark Tank. I knew of him because of all the great things he's done over the years as an entrepreneur, and I love studying entrepreneurs who do something and not just talk about it. Well, he was one of the original sharks on the ABC hit Shark Tank. He's the inventor of the Infomercial. You know, the As Seen on TV partner. He's the co-founder of Electronic Retailers Association, co-founder of the Entrepreneurs Organization, EO. He's launched about 20 businesses, grown over 100 million in sales each, and more than 5 billion in sales worldwide. He's had a direct impact on people like Billy Mays, Jack LaLanne, Tony Little, and George Foreman with that incredible grill. He's the guy who helped launch all these businesses, and he was handpicked by Mark Burnett to be a part of the original Shark Tank, and he did that for over 170 episodes before he said, you know what, all these other businesses are calling my name, and he had to step off and get busy with the rest of them. I'm grateful we've developed a friendship, and he helps you to 10x your business. And so, ladies and gentlemen, one of the real original sharks from Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. How you doing, Kevin?
Fantastic. Great to be here. You built me up there pretty nice. I hope I can can live up to all that.
Well, man, you have done it. You have done it. Now, I gave a quick thumbnail sketch of who you are, where you come from. Tell us a little more about who Kevin Harrington is, where he came from, and how he got started as an entrepreneur.
Good question. I'm one of 6 kids from a blue-collar family in Cincinnati, Ohio, Midwest town. You know what? I've been an entrepreneur for 40 years. My father was an entrepreneur. I started working for him when I was 11, and I started my first business when I was 15. So 45 years ago, I had my first business, and I've been in various businesses along the way. I'm an SCTV pioneer. I've been doing lots of creative and wonderful shows around the world of infomercials and SCTV. You mentioned a few people, from Tony Little, Jack LaLanne, and some famous people. I love fitness. I love kitchen. Cleaning. I mean, even George Foreman did a cleaning infomercial also, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Wow.
The bottom line is we've had a good run, but I empower entrepreneurs now. This is what I do.
Well, let's talk about entrepreneurism and some of the lessons you learned, because a lot of people who are listening to this show across America and now globally are either entrepreneurs, they're intrapreneurs, or they're wannabe. They really want to start a business. They want to start an entrepreneur enterprise. They want to become wealthy. They want to. I was earlier saying about generational wealth and how, the wealthy think generation to generation rather than day to day or week to week or month to month or even year to year. They're thinking, how do we create generational wealth? Well, what are some of the lessons that you share with people about creating wealth in their lives that will be bigger or outgrow or outlive them? What are the big thinking processes that you do recommend folks?
So I say you got to think exponentially, and thinking exponentially is putting a different view on something. So most people think about the 9 to 5, what they do day to day, and I say they think in terms of addition. They add this to that, each other. Where I think in terms of multiplication or geometric. So I launch a product. I don't just want to just go sell it to consumers. I want to wholesale it to stores. I want to find distributors internationally. So that's an exponential thinking process. And any of your radio listeners right now, they're thinking, how can I think exponentially? And it depends on the business you're in. But it takes, when I was sitting with an infomercial that had run here in the U.S., I was like, how do I get this exponentially around, other places? I thought, well, I got to take it around the world. So that's an exponential thinking process of, well, it ran in the U.S., but wait, will it run in England? Will it run in Germany? Will it run in Saudi Arabia? Will it run in Latin America and Asia? So that's what we did. And instead of running in one country, we took it to 100 countries. And that's the multiplication angle. We didn't just sell a few units here. We sold millions of units all around the world. So this exponential thinking is one of the things that I talk about. And then one other angle to all of this, and this is the beauty of one of the business models that Greg Rinker was one of the pioneers in. Greg started a company called Proactive Skincare.
Right.
And it was acne, right?
Right.
So now I was in the business of selling Tony Little Gazelle, for example, and we would sell one of them. Greg said, no, I want to get a customer that I can ship to them month after month for the rest of their lives. So continuity thinking is how wealthy people think. What can I get that I can just keep shipping over and over? Because when somebody buys one product, they don't know how they can create more sales to that same customer. When they bought a Gazelle, they didn't even use the Gazelle, let alone how am I going to sell them another one, right? Whereas when they're buying skincare, they're buying things and using them over and over in the consumption and the continuity. To the point where Greg just sold a part of his company for $2.2 billion. Wow. Not even all of his company.
Wow.
So he's a billionaire from coming up with a skin cream that had exponential thinking in the way of continuity.
Wow. Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, folks, with Kevin Harrington, one of the original sharks and an original entrepreneur. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for sure, your best is yet to come.
Afraid of flying, I always kept my dreams on the ground. Life had enough ups and downs, but Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams.
Are you ready to revolutionize your relationship with money? I'm Brian Ford, a financial wellness expert.
And I'm Bright Dixon, an expert in positive psychology. Together, we host Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian, a podcast from Truist Bank that's all about exploring the relationship between your money, your mindset, and your well-being.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts or truist.com/money and mindset podcast.
This is Dr. Willie Jolley, host of the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. The smart first step to buying a home is knowing how much you can afford. A Truist mortgage professional can help you understand that in just a few minutes. Connecting with a lender first helps you to be more confident in your search. Truist offers loans that can help you become a homeowner with a low down payment. The best way to find out if you qualify for a low down payment loan is to talk with a Truist mortgage professional. Visit truist.com/mortgage. Truist.com/mortgage to see current rates, to get a sample mortgage payment using their calculator, and find resources to help you buy a home. Talk to a Truist mortgage professional about your loan options. Having that relationship in place can help you find the best financing options available to you. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist Bank.
The D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the E to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for those just joining us, we're excited that we've got a entrepreneur. He is an entrepreneur who started in his in his teens, and he started and launched a Quantum International. He turned that into a $500 million per year business on the New York Stock Exchange. Drove the stock price from $1 to $20 per share. After selling that, he formed a joint venture with Home Shopping Network called HSN Direct, which grew to hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. And then Entrepreneur Magazine called him one of the entrepreneurs of our time, one of the top. He speaks. He has written books. He's on television, radio all over the world. He's the co-founder of EO, and anybody who knows about entrepreneurs know about EO, the Entrepreneurs Organization, and it has grown to 150 cities in 45 countries, as well as he started a trade show called Electronic Retailers Association, ERA, and it is the exclusive today trade association to represent a global $350 billion direct-to-consumer marketplace. And this guy, he doesn't like you drink water. He just thinks about entrepreneurism. You think about it all day long, don't you?
You know it, man. I mean, every day getting pitched by people. They've got ideas. They've got products. I never know what it's going to be. That's why I love being an entrepreneur. Every day's a new day, and I just keep plugging away with new ideas, new businesses, new investments, and this world has changed because I started 35 years ago doing all this, you mentioned all this TV stuff, and now you got to think a little bit more creative because there's 50% fewer people watching TV now, and they follow the eyeballs. Where'd they go? They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on YouTube. So we're now out following the eyeballs all around the world, having some great success in this arena. So you got to stay on top of it, though, Will. You know that, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, one of the things I liked about you already said one of the big decisions you make was to go international, and you did that. One of the things you just shared, and you said it in a very unique way, follow the eyeballs, is to go virtual. Find out where people are looking. Go digital. Go mobile. What are some of the things that you tell entrepreneurs that they got to do if they're going to become multimillionaires? What are the secrets they should know? What do they have to do about their mindset? How do they develop it? Because you've kind of done this all your life. Well, what do you tell people? Here's what you got to do, folks.
The first thing that you got to do is you can't do it all yourself, all right? So you're going to be limited to the number of people that you can reach on a direct basis, okay? You need to be able to bring the dream team. So, Willie, you've got certain skills. I've got certain skills. But I'm not a finance guy. I need to raise capital. I need to do this. So once I realized, I was trying for months and months and months to go raise some money for one of my companies way back about 30 years ago, and I couldn't do it, and I didn't have the expertise. And I finally found a former bank president came in and showed me how to do it. So once we did that, all hell broke loose. We raised capital. The company went from $50 million to over $500 million eventually. So allowing myself to bring in other smart people in the arena to help me do it.
Finding strategic alliances. Les Brown told me that years ago. He said, Brother Willie, we were on the Get Motivated tour, and we were doing something together, and we were in one of the green rooms. He said, Willie, look, you got all of these things, but you got to get strategic alliances. You got to get people who can help you as you help them. Or as Zig said, help enough other people get what they want, you get everything you want. Creating strategic alliances. And if you do that, how important is it to have mentors? Because I'm sure you've not only gotten partners, strategic partners and alliances, but how about mentors?
It's just as important as everything, man. I mean, without mentors, you're not going to do anything. Look, you can go try, but you're not going to be big time all over the world if that's what your goal is, right? Mentors, coaches, I've got them in every part of my life. I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on mentors.
Wow.
Right? Now, you think some people don't make hundreds of thousands a year. I understand that. But if you want to make millions a year, you got to spend hundreds of thousands to get the right people to help you make millions.
So you should invest in yourself, in other words. You got to spend the money in investing in yourself and in the relationships. It's critical.
Yeah. The bottom line is you just need to be able to open your doors, open your mind, invest in yourself, and all kinds of crazy good stuff starts happening.
Wow. Well, now, how about failing? Are you afraid to fail?
It's funny. I was on a flight home from Hong Kong over the weekend, and I watched, there was a couple movies, and one of the movies that said Winston Churchill, success is being able to go from failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm. Okay? And so I hate to say it, but I fail all the time, and I used to get all upset about it. Now I don't let it break my stride. It's like if I get struck down, or we have one that doesn't work, take it and run with it and do to punch through this, right?
Yes.
So because I'm going to fail 4 times before I get the winner. So once I get that winner, then it's far pays for all the losers I had along the way. So you got to learn from the losers and take and run with the winners.
Wow. That folks, that's priceless. That the winners like him, like Kevin Harrington, understand that you're going to fail. You're going to get no's. Things are not going to line up all the time, but you're willing to get a no in order to get a yes. I think our guest is B. Smith, the great restaurateur, her husband said, B would always say every morning, I'm willing to stand on a mountain of no's in order to get one yes. And so it's the same that he said, I'm willing to fail. I know I'm going to fail about 4 times before I get it, the winner, but I understand that the winner is worth the failure. So folks, your self-esteem, don't let your self-esteem get beat up because you're going through some failures. Keep trying, keep talking, keep working, keep pushing, and understand that a setback is a setup for a comeback. Somebody should write a book like that. Oh, I think I did. Anyway, so failure must not stop you, but grow you. That's the other thing you said. Failure must not stop you, but grow you. Learn from each failure. Am I right about it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've invested in 500 plus deals, 350 of them bombed. So but guess what? The 150 that worked did $5 billion in sales.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you think I'm worried about the 350 that didn't work?
Wow.
No. So it's all in mindset. You mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
What's the mindset on all of this, right?
Right.
It's, I learned quite a bit about mindset from Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
And, Zig wrote the book, See You at the Top. And, that's the only way to go, man. There's no sense. You do have to start at the bottom, because Zig said that the stairway to success, the elevator to success is broken.
Right.
Okay? You got to take the stairs.
Right.
All right? But once you do that, you paid your way.
Once you do that, you paid your way, folks. That's right.
Yeah. Then you're ready. You're ready. He didn't want anything for nothing. And there was a man, I'm going to be in Dallas tomorrow. We've got 300 Zig Ziglar excited folks coming in for big event for Jimmy in Dallas. And these are folks that have been involved with the Ziglar umbrella. When he passed away, over 4.5 million people gave him a tribute on Facebook.
Right.
Now, the point is, Zig never had a Facebook account while he was alive. He never did one piece of social media while he was alive, because he died in 2012. This was an industry that hadn't been born yet, but he still touched hundreds of millions of people with his speeches and his videos and his audios all over the world. So think about that.
Right.
Touching hundreds of millions without even having any social media. Unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. I'm very grateful. People know who listen every week that when Zig passed, I'm very grateful that the Get Motivated tour looked around the country. They wanted a motivator who was well known and someone who was also a man of faith, and they gave me a call. And for a number of years, for 3 years, I was the replacement for Zig, and then this radio show took off, and I had to take time off from that. I do one or two a year, or I just did one with Les Brown, and did one with Robert Herjavec, with me, Les Brown, and Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. But
that's cool. I'm going to be with Les on the 18th of May in Los Angeles, and I'm going to be with Tom Ziegler tomorrow in Dallas.
Will you tell both of them? I said hello
because in the same circles. I will, Willie.
Yes, tell Tom. I just talked to Tom not long ago. He's been on the show, and then of course Les is my buddy, and we prayed him through his health challenges, and now he's doing well, and I'm very grateful. And so you've been able to just build these entrepreneurial stories, one after another, by just being. Is it persistence? Is it? What is the secret to your what's the secret sauce, Kevin, that makes you so successful?
Well, I'll say this. I don't just sit around and wait for things to happen. I make them happen. So I get people excited about, doing things. I go to trades. I do about 25 trade shows a year to this day.
Wow.
I go to the houseware show, the hardware show, the fitness show, the golf show, the toy fair, the beauty shows. I'm out there. And, when I'm doing that, what's happening? People are calling me. They're grabbing me. Hey, I got this. I got that. People say, how do you get all that deal flow, Kevin? I go out and I hunt the streets down, man. I'm out there making things happen.
You're still doing it today. You're still hunting. You're still scratching. You're still clawing. You're still working. Man, every time you fall, you get back up. Every time you fail, you try again. That's the key to success. That's the key to making it happen. And that's why you are doing what you're doing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, we got to take a break. We're going to be right back with Kevin Harrington. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store. Get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley with my special guest, Kevin Harrington. Y'all know him from Shark Tank. Y'all know him from on the infomercials. Y'all know him as an entrepreneur. And he also has a couple books that I recommend you go to Amazon and get. Is Act Now. He said, How I Turn Ideas into $1 Million Products. Act Now, How I Turn Ideas into $1 Million Products, as well as the bestseller, Key Person of Influence. And so we'll talk just a moment about those books. But Kevin, you're scratching and clawing. I love that because we recently had T.D. Jakes on who said something I love. He said, when you find me on my deathbed, the end of my life when I've done all I could do, look up under my nails because you'll still see dirt under there because I'm scratching and clawing. That's what took me from West Virginia to become a pastor, to a mega pastor, to an entrepreneur, to a television personality, to a book author, a bestseller, or to a movie producer, all because I kept scratching. I kept doing those things that got me here. And that's what you're doing. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, it's, just when things come and go, the TV industry, it became a little tougher when viewers were leaving. I mean, there's 50+ million people cut the cord from television. Viewership's down by 50%. So what do? Well, I became a digital marketer. I had to follow them. Where'd they go? They went to Facebook. They went to Pinterest. They went to Instagram. They went to YouTube. So that's what I'm doing. I'm marketing on those channels now. So, you can't just sit around. You got to get up. You got to make it happen. You got to follow where the action is.
Wow. Folks, I think he just gave you a pearl that 50% of TV viewers cut the cord, and yet they still getting content somewhere. Where do they get their content? Well, you want to get in that stream. You got YouTube free. You got Instagram free. You've got Facebook free. You've got to be thinking outside the box about how you can market your product, your service. your company, your idea, because that is where the money's going to be. And those people are buying products still. They're still purchasing. They're investing. You want to be in there and you want to get your message out. And that's why Kevin Harrington is still making millions and billions of dollars, as well as helping others to do it. Well, now, I always ask this question, Kevin, and every guest. We're Sirius XM is based in New York and in D.C., and let's say you were either at a college in New York or D.C., and you went into a room of young entrepreneurs, and they say, we want to be successful like you. Give them some simple ABC. Here's the 1, 2, 3 steps that they need to do. What do they need to do to become successful entrepreneurs like a Kevin Harrington?
Number one, they got to put a plan together. So, I take a lot of pitches, and you wouldn't believe how many people I take a pitch from that have they just need money. I'm like, okay, great. So how am I going to get my money back? Right? And what's the plan? Oh, well, we're going to make money and eventually you'll get your money back. No. Do you have the use of proceeds? Do you have a marketing budget? Do you have, give me the plan. So that's number one is give me the plan. Number two is most people are lacking in the plan on the marketing side. So the most important piece of any plan to me is going to be the marketing.
Right.
How are they going to package and market this company? So have a business plan, but number two, have a great marketing strategy. And I'm talking about have a plan to acquire customers. Because, that's all I've done my whole life. Is 35 years I spent acquiring customers. I had a plan. Produce an infomercial, go buy media, acquire customers, build a business, make money. So, secondly, is the customer acquisition plan is important. And then the third thing is go raise some money so that you can now build a global empire, okay? And so if you've got a plan and you can acquire customers and you've got the capital to do it, there's nothing to stop you from having a successful business. That's plain and simple.
Wow. And of course you got to have what you said earlier, the mindset, the willingness to keep fighting, the gumption, the grit, to just get in there and fight for your dreams and goals. One of the things Les talks about, you got to be willing to fight for your dreams every day. I got a sign on my desk that says, Les says, life is a fight for territory. When you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want automatically takes over. And so you got to fight for it. You really do have to fight for it. And you got to get up in the morning willing to fight for it, because no one's going to come and bring you $1 billion or $1 million or even $10,000 and just drop it on you and say, oh, you're just a nice person. Let me just give you some money every month for you.
I'm looking at a sign sitting in my office. Life's battles don't always go to the fastest or the strongest. Sooner or later, those who win are those who think they can. And so that falls right into that strategy. And so when anyone asks me what are the 3 things you need to do or whatever, I'm making the one assumption: you've got the passion, you've got the desire, you've got, as Les Brown says, you got to be hungry.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. There's nobody that says it better than Les Brown.
Nobody says it's better than Les Brown. That's right. And I encourage people, if you've not seen his You Gotta Be Hungry speech, go on YouTube. I think it's one of the most brilliant messages. For years, we would travel together. I started working with Les when I was maybe 7 or 8 years into my speaking business. And he heard about this guy who was a speaker and a singer who put it together. He had a tour called the Music and Motivation Dream Team Tour, which featured Les Brown, Billy Preston, Gladys Knight, and they needed an opening act. And he said, I found you because I heard you mix music and motivation. And I would be on the tour with them, and I'd stand in the wings every time he would speak. And I cannot get enough of that. You got to be hungry. I can hear it every day. I could hear it every speech. And I still got thrilled by it. And even to this day, over 20 years later, when we're on the Get Motivated tour, and he does that, you got to be hungry. It's something about that story story that is just, it's like hearing your favorite song every day, every time you listen. I can hear some songs over and over again and never tire of them. Okay, so we got entrepreneurism, and now let me ask you this. This is sounds like a simple question. I ask people this, and it's a interesting question. Why is it important to be wealthy?
Well, let's put it this way. I mean, I would say, when I started out, I didn't necessarily say I've got to be wealthy as much as I said I want to be happy. I want to have the things that will help me be around nice things. I mean, I think Zig Ziglar said it pretty interesting. I think he said it's, money is, I can't remember exactly how he said this, but he said money isn't everything, but it's pretty high up there on the gotta have it.
Yeah, he said money isn't everything, but it's right up there next to breathing.
Right up there next to oxygen.
Oxygen, right? Because it gives you options. And money gives you options for your health care, for your home, for where you're going to live, for what kind of schools your children are going to go to, what kind of impact you can have on the world in terms of donations to places. A lot of
charities you're going to support.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. Yep. Yeah. So
it's, I think we've all been on both sides of the table, and I just think it's easy to say that once you get a little bit of success, it's a good place to be. Gives you a chance to also do a lot of nice things for a lot of other people that maybe need a little bit of help here and there. And sometimes just lifting people up that need that little boost, can be very, very powerful.
That says one of the things I know about you is the power of your relationships. And you've done a wonderful job of building great relationships. And that's not a one-way street. You got relationships with the Russell Simmonses of the world. You got relationships with the George Foremans. You got relationships with the Tony Littles. You got relationships with the Les Browns, the Mark Burnett's. Talk about the power or the impact or the importance of relationships.
So I use, and I think there's two ways to say it. Relationship, yes, that's important. I think it's Rolodex, access to some pretty cool people. And relationships there's two types of relationships, I'd say. One is where it's a deep, like a friendship kind of thing, and, people that will do anything for anybody when they need help. Very few people have very many of those. I mean,
right.
People don't have dozens or hundreds of those. Okay, those are few and far between, a handful here and there, right? But great Rolodex is also, that's business relationships where you can pick up the phone, open a lot of doors. I mean, we're doing some amazing things with some of the ventures that we have just by opening our Rolodex, and so I think there's two sides to that. One is who you can ultimately count on. When you pass away, how many people are going to be sitting there at your funeral? That's a different story than how many people you got on your business, Rolodex. So
right.
Two sides of that, and I think it's, I like to have good ones in both of those. The business side is good if you're going to be an advisor, to help companies. I've got relationships that'll help. That if an inventor comes to me, I've got manufacturers relationships. I've got distribution relations. I can get them into stores. I can get them on shopping channels. I can get them into Amazons. I can get them into international distribution. I can handle, the this, the that, get them on the TV shows. So it's all about opening a lot of these doors across many spectrums. Is the important thing, and that's what a great pile of relationships and a great Rolodex will do for many people.
Well, how did you develop it, though? That's the key. How did you develop what? That's what's most important. Or what's intriguing to me is you are so well regarded. When you were at NSA, the National Speakers Association, at that time when we met, I was so impressed how you helped others. You were really sincerely. They didn't pay you. You came to be a blessing to others. You didn't have to do that, but you did. That's one of the things I want to take a moment. I want you to think about it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for just a moment. We got a little bit more with Kevin, but folks, that's why I wanted to have him on so he could tell you some of the things he's done to start. You heard him say his dad was an entrepreneur, but they weren't wealthy. He didn't come from a wealthy family. He didn't have a silver spoon in his mouth. He didn't climb a crystal stairway. What he did was to develop relationships, develop some smarts, work on himself. You hear him talk about Zig Ziglar and the different motivational people who line his office in the posters because he's always growing himself. These are the things that the successful people do. And if you do what they do, you start to get the results that they get. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. We'll be right back. And for sure, your best is yet to come.
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent. You can call on me when you need me. You can call on me. Call me. You can call on me. Pick up the phone. You can call and call me.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and will help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come. And we're We're back. Dr. Willie Jolley, and I've got my friend Kevin Harrington. He is one of the original sharks on the Emmy-winning show, Shark Tank. He is the inventor of the Infomercial. That's right. Y'all seen Infomercial. He was the inventor of the Infomercial. He worked with Billy Mays and Jack LaLanne and Tony Little and George Foreman and Mark Burnett, who is the producer of Shark Tank, handpicked him to become one of the original sharks. And he did over 175 segments of that show before his schedule got so busy he couldn't even do it anymore. He's on the plane. He just got back from Asia. He's all over the world. He's got a global brand, and he has helped build billion-dollar industries, not one, not two, multiple. And I'm so grateful that he was able to make time. One of the things I was saying earlier is that you give to others, as you're doing today, to help others. And how did you build this mindset for the power of relationship? Was it your parents who told you, hey, Kevin, do for somebody else before they need to do for you? How did you get to be this, have this Rolodex, to have these relationships?
So I think I had a really good upbringing from my mother and my father, who were very much into relationships. A quick story about my father. He enlisted in World War II when he was 18 years old in the Air Force. And back then, your obligation inside the Air Force, you flew 25 missions where you took your life in your hands. They were flying 100 yards above the ground, dropping bombs and getting hit by. He got shot down twice. One of them was a handgun. They shot his fuel tank because he was so close to the ground. But after 25 missions, and they had hundreds of his comrades that didn't make it back because it was a brutal war over there. You're done. You get to go home. But he stayed for 50, then 75, then 100, and then 160 because he saw these kids coming in that he'd been in there a year, and these kids coming up didn't know how to fly. They were going out getting shot down and killed. He's like, no, I'm going to hang here, teach these men how to come back. These kids how to be men and come back. And so that's my father. My mother, God bless her, went to church 6 days a week till the week she passed away. And so I grew up always thinking about other people. How can I empower other people? I started the Entrepreneurs Organization, which was the YEO, Young Entrepreneurs Organization, to empower entrepreneurs. And and then when Zig Ziglar mentored me, he was like, you can get everything in life you want if you do what? Help enough other people get what they want. So I always looked at people and said, how can I bring value to them?
Right.
And if I bring value to them, then eventually it's going to bring value to me. So the bottom line is that this has been my life. I love it. I breathe it. And guess what? The EO, there isn't a month that goes by. Just probably an hour before you got on the phone with me here for today's radio interview, I got a phone call from an EOer. Kevin, it's been 2 years. What have you been doing, man? I got a great project for you. And so this is what's coming back to me now, Willie. This is 30-plus years ago I started the EO organization. And now I'm empowered by the things that I did back then. So my Rolodex, it's big. And let me tell you, someone says, well, it's starting an organization. So, yeah, great. Okay, but I'll give you another one. I go to 25 trade shows a year. Go to the media department. Every trade show has a media section. They've got the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and the Homeworld magazine and whatever the show is. I mean, do you know the Consumer Electronics Show? It's called the CES Show. 250,000 people from all over the world go to that show. 3,000 of them are press.
Wow.
Okay? You want to make some good connections? Go to the press room, meet the press, and if you've got a product that you want to launch, you've got 3,000 people you can pitch your product to in the press room. And grab about 3,000 business cards out of there and go to that show 30 years in a row, and you're going to make some connections, okay? Well, that's me at the Houseware Show in Chicago. 31 out of 32 years I've been there. And what am I doing? Networking with the press and getting my products featured in their magazines, their publications, the TV shows, the this, the that. You never stop, Willie. You got to keep going. every single day, and then eventually it all just comes back. So, I mean, I don't have to do this anymore. Now I do it for fun. I used to do it because it was my living, was my livelihood. Now I do it for fun. You know what I do with the press when I go to the Chicago Houseware Show? I smoke a cigar with the boys. Okay, you know, don't tell my wife that though. Okay?
And that's what, folks. That's why I love talking to people like Kevin Harrington, because they really do it because they found a passion for it, and in the process, they make a lot of money, but they also make a big difference. And they always have a two-pronged thinking process. Make a profit and make a difference, and you go home and you have a good day. You've had a good day. You can sleep better. You sit with your family better. Tell us about the book, How I Turned Ideas into $1 Million Products, and where they can buy it. Can they get it on a website? Where do you want people to go?
They can go right to kevinharrington.tv, and they'll find all the information there. We got a couple free downloads for them, etc. But, yeah, we can do some amazing things there.
And they can reach you to come and have you. I noticed you on YouTube. You've done TED Talks, and occasionally you will take corporate events for people who want to bring you in. They can reach you as well at kevinharrington.tv.
Yeah, and then if they want to get the website, it's kevinharrington.tv is the website to check it all out.
Wow, you know, this has been just phenomenal. I'm just so thankful and grateful for you finding time, making time to be here to share with my listeners. We got millions of listeners across the globe, as well as now podcasts on iHeartMedia. So we got the satellite radio show. We've got the iHeartMedia. We got daily radio. Because I want to help people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Closing thoughts, Kevin. Any last thoughts you want to just impress upon this group of entrepreneurs, and people who want to live their dreams?
Yeah, I have one closing thought. If you want to be really, really successful, create a dream team. Surround yourself with this dream team. Remember I told you I spend hundreds of thousands a year on coaches, mentors. That's part of my dream team. When I need something, I pick up one of my mentors. If I'm paying somebody $25,000 a year, believe me, they're going to take my call when I need some help, okay? So, you know, and you know, one of the mentors that I get $25,000 a year to, he says, Kevin, I guarantee you 10 times that back at the end of the year, within 12 months. I got it back within 45 days.
Wow.
So make the investment in yourself, and you can be powerful. That's all I'm going to say. Surround yourself with a dream team. Get some good mentors, coaches. You know, we've mentioned some names on, you know, the Les Browns, the Willie Jolleys, the Kevin Harringtons. We're all part of this umbrella of helping people take themselves to the next level. So thanks for having me, buddy.
Thank you, my friend. You're awesome, and I appreciate you.
You bet, man. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you at one of the next conferences. I'll tell Les Brown you said hello.
Tell Les, as well as everybody down in Texas and Ziegler, that I said hey, and I love them, and God bless them, all right?
Absolutely.
All
Take care, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
See you later.
God bless.
Bye.
Wow, folks. Isn't that awesome? We've got the one and only Kevin Harrington, who was willing to spend time. I'm telling you, he didn't have to take the call. I've called him a couple of times. He said, Willie, I want to do it for you, man, but I am booked. I'm crazy. Man, I've got all of these deals I'm doing, and I'm running. And he said, but I'm going to make it happen. He kept his word. We were at a date, and he sent me an email, said I got to jump off after a certain amount of time, but I'll give you every minute I got. I said, I appreciate it. And that's what we want you to know, that it's about developing those relationships. How did I get him to even consider it? Because I did something before I needed him to do something for me. Pour into others, as Les Brown has taught me over the years. Pour into others before you need them to pour into you. Give to others before you need them to give to you. Do for others before you need them to do for you. And sometimes do it with no expectation in anything in return from them. It might not come from them. It might come from somewhere else. But it's about giving. Well, for those who are interested in faith-based information, go to jollygoodnews.org. If you got somebody who's struggling with cancer, someone who's struggling with health, go to jollygoodnews.org and hear that message from the cancer thrivers and survivors that I did as an interview that I now made into a giveaway. Go to iTunes and get your podcast, The Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways, and do me a favor. Tell everybody you know. Share it. Send it out to others. Say, Hey, make a comment about it, because we want to go with those algorithms to be popping, saying, boy, we got to get more people to listen to Willie Jolley. And, of course, the marriage book. We want to save 1 million marriages. Go to jollymarriage.com. Get the 2 books for you and your significant other, and get the new audio. 90 minutes of power. Woo! WillieJolly.com/gift to be on our newsletter and to get a free gift from me, a digital gift. WillieJolly.com/gift. And before we leave, we got to make sure to continue to support our sponsor, Truist Bank. See, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Home ownership is a blessing. The ability to build equity, value in your home that you can own for the foundation of creating wealth. Wealth that can be passed on for generations. Truist believes that a path to ownership and home ownership exists for you. I hear people often say, well, I don't see how I could ever own a home. Truist can help you buy a home with a low down payment. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about the options available to you. Reach them by calling 855-257-4040, 855-257-4040. They really care. You can also visit truist.com/homebuyer to calculate your mortgage payment. That's truist.com/homebuyer. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. What a great day. What a great show. Hope you enjoyed it. And remember, for sure, your best is yet to come. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My. It's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think that it takes too much time, think again, 'cause I'm telling you it don't. The fact is, it only takes a minute to make up your mind, and now is your time to make you run. It only takes...
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.